In tradition, we are taught that our Creator knew before he even began his work of creation that our first parents would adopt a self-centered mindset. This erroneous and misleading assertion stems from our desperate need for the Creator to be all-knowing. This is due to humanity's ever-present anxiety over the perceived uncertainty of the future. Our quest to alleviate this anxiety fuels our insistence that the Creator is omniscient. And if he is all-knowing, as we insist, then he must have known beforehand that our first parents would fall. Since all creation was made from the body of the Creator enjoys an inherent connection to every single atom that exists within the realm of his creation. Through this connection, the Creator knows everything, past and present, about everything in existence. Armed with this vast amount of detailed information, his absolute understanding of nature, and the predictability of a race of beings in bondage to self-centeredness, our Creator can foretell the future with near precision. As far as the needs of humanity are concerned, this ability for all intents and purposes is omniscience. But to be clear, the Creator is not omniscient in the traditional sense. Hence, when it came to our first parents, who were to originally be selfless by nature, adopting a self-centered mindset, all that the Creator knew for certain beforehand was that it would be a possibility due to the level of intelligence they were to be given. Only after they were created, had become cognitively aware, and the right circumstances had manifested, was the Creator able to know that they would eventually fall. Long before he began his work of creation, the Creator engaged in intricate and exhaustive intellectual journeys where he considered and explored the pathways to the infinite number of outcomes an idea could lead to. These journeys, also known as thought experiments, were a method through which he acquired knowledge and discovered the limits of harmony. Whenever he engaged in an experiment that ended in disharmony, he took note of how he was affected as he approached its conclusion. In this way, he gained the experience necessary to be able to recognize within himself the signs of impending disharmony. Each time, he would explore further and further, getting closer and closer to the line between harmony and disharmony, where adopting a self-centered mindset seems irresistible. When the Creator finally did cross that line, he immediately began to experience negative consequences, even the state of dying. Fortunately, because of the knowledge and experience he had already acquired, he was able to reverse his course and re-establish his selfless mindset and harmonious relationship with all things. By taking that step into disharmony, the Creator was able to discover the absolute limits of harmony and gain the knowledge of what it is to be self-centered. Throughout the universe, the Creator has guided every race created in his likeness through this same process, so that they too would know the limits of harmony and why a self-centered mindset must be avoided. In this way, he ensures harmony throughout the realm of his creation. When it came to intellectual journeys that led to disharmony, in order to ensure that his children gain the vital wisdom these dangerous experiments were meant to provide, the Creator's guidance was given in the form of instructions on when to engage, what to expect, how to deal with the adverse effects they would experience, and how to reverse their course. He could not, however, force them to follow his instructions or intervene in any way that would lessen the difficulty and danger posed by these experiments. Once our first parents became cognitively aware, they began to learn. In time, they had acquired a wealth of knowledge such that they felt confident they were ready to engage in intellectual journeys that led to disharmony. But the Creator knew otherwise. Through the combination of his inherent connection to our first parents, his absolute understanding of nature, and his experience with the limits of harmony, the Creator could see that our first parents were not yet prepared for such a dangerous undertaking. So he warned them against it. He instructed them to explore any line of thought they desired, but not to approach the limits of harmony. Initially, our first parents heeded the Creator's warning and turned their focus towards safer experiments. In time, however, Overconfidence born of inexperience led to discontentment, and they went where they were instructed not to go. At first, their harmonious state of being held steady, but this was not to last. The further they went, the more they were negatively affected. They realized too late that they lacked the experience necessary to resist and step away from the powerful and sweeping influence of the experiment. Overwhelmed, our first parents crossed the line between harmony and disharmony as they made the choice to adopt a self-centered mindset. But unlike the Creator and the other races made in his likeness, they could not reverse their course. In tradition, we are told of a malevolent entity who works against humanity. The Creator supposedly allowed this entity into the presence of our first parents, knowing that it would tempt them into disobeying him. The assertion that our Creator would allow this to happen is a dangerous misrepresentation of his character, and is due to humanity's selfish tendency to deflect blame for its failures onto others. The truth is, there was no malevolent entity, only our first parents' overconfidence and inexperience. When our first parents chose to adopt a self-centered mindset, their state of being ceased to be in harmony with all things. The resulting external and internal adverse interactions rendered their vitality imperfect and unable to sustain eternal life. So they began to die. Up to this point, our first parents had only known perfect vitality. They had no idea what it felt like to be dying creatures. Consequently, though their new physical state of dying was without catastrophic damage to their bodies, they could not help but perceive it as an overwhelming threat. This caused them to slip into self-preservation mode. With their focus on self now being compelled due to their fall into self-preservation mode, their disharmonious relationship with all things became inescapable. This made their physical state of dying irreversible. With the threat of death now permanent, our first parents became trapped in self-preservation mode. As a result, their self-centeredness was no longer just a chosen mindset. It was now their state of being. They had become self-centered by nature. This self-centered state of being, which makes eternal life impossible, is our inheritance through the natural process of procreation. In the same way that humanity's original state of being was like that of the Creator, since we were created from his body, the only state of being a child can inherit from its self-centered parents is one that is self-centered. When our first parents became self-centered by nature, they ceased to be the likeness of the Creator. Thus, whatever ultimate potential humanity was originally endowed with, due to being made in the likeness of the Creator, was lost the moment our first parents fell. The progressive disharmonious relationship with all things that result from a self-centered state of being ensured that the profound knowledge and amazing abilities we enjoyed prior to our fall would eventually be lost. Never again, on this side of deliverance, will we have the ability to reach the heights originally intended for humanity.